So, as a filmmaker, I'm always looking for like producers to like give me money to make my films. And I was at this like film event once, and this friend of mine introduced me to this guy who was Iranian named Mo, which is short for Mohammed. Um, and he said he's a producer. And I started talking to him, and he seemed, friendly. And I was making a film. I think I was making I'm a Sex Addict, and asked him if he would be interested in investing in it. And he said he would. And he gave me a little bit of money for it. And then I didn't make it, at least in that iteration. And then my friend Greg was making a film, and we asked him for some money for that. And he gave us a little bit, and we put him in it. And then the film got into Sundance, and Mo was so excited, and he wanted to come, and he invested in it. And when we were at Sundance, he like stole this banner that said Sundance Film Festival, like a really big banner, and he wanted to put it in his office. And this was like his like pride and joy of his life, that he had like been involved with a film at the Sundance Film Festival and had this banner. And I just, I had mixed feelings about Mo. Like he was a little bit vulgar, I guess. And I kind of was a little embarrassed to have him around us at Sundance because he was just kind of like, an embarrassment. He would say things that were very, crude and kind of inappropriate all the time. And, he was like, he was a real womanizer, and he was like really into like younger women and how many women he had bedded and stuff. Like he was just like always talking about things that just embarrassed me. And, he was just like saw himself as this kind of Lothario. And, I just was always uncomfortable with his aesthetics. And one day we were having lunch, and I just decided to tell him what I really thought. And I just said the truth. I said, Mo, I find you a little vulgar, and I'm a little embarrassed by you. And I appreciate that you give us all this money, but, I don't really want to be associated with you unless, things are going to be like different. And he was just like really, really hurt. Like it just hurt his feelings. Like he thought of himself as, somebody who was refined, I guess, and kind of, charming. And, I tried to like, reassure him and tell him I still liked him, but, the damage had been done. And it took a while to heal that relationship, but it kind of healed a little bit. And he really just loved festivals. He just wanted to go to film festivals, and he wanted me to always help him with this TV show idea about film festivals, which I was not interested in. And I would feel guilty, so I sort of tried to help him a little bit, but not really. And we had this kind of relationship where he would just kind of contact me and kind of guilt trip me for not getting back to him. And I'd feel kind of guilty, and I would try to be nice, but not that nice. And this went on for years. And recently, my father died. And he was actually really nice to my dad. He would go visit my dad, and he really liked my dad. And my dad liked him too. Like that was one of the nicest things about him. And when I was going to the funeral, Mo offered to pick me up from the airport, which was, great for me. I needed a ride. And it was, it was good to see him and catch up. And, he kind of fallen on hard times. And he wanted to also give me a ride back to the airport after the funeral service. And my sister said that she was going to be driving that way anyway, so she could drive me. So I told Mo, my sister can drive me. It's fine. And, she thought she was doing him a favor, but his feelings were hurt because he really wanted to spend more time with me. And, he just embarrassed everyone a little bit. And then a few weeks ago, my friend Piruz, who had filmed the funeral and had met Mo at the funeral, and had kind of befriended him, like they sort of hung out a bit afterwards, he said, "Did you hear the news about Mo?" And I was like, "No, what news?" And he was like, "Mo died." And I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah." And I like looked up these Facebook posts by all these people who said like what a saint he was and how much they loved him and what a great person he was and how much he had such a big heart. And I realized like all these people who really loved him. And I just wished, I don't know, I don't regret being honest with him, but I just wish I had kind of like just appreciated him more.